Right. Can you hear me now? If you can hear me now, put a number 1 or say, yes, now we have sound. Okay. Just waiting on a reaction there. Excellent. Okay. Hi, Ashley. How you doing? Good to see you. All right. So basically, as I've been saying the whole time, we've been waiting for wave D to end. Right. So at this point in time, we've seen the end of wave D, and then we saw the bounce that I was speaking about, if you would have been paying attention in my last video. And then I said this is going to be the part where people buy, and then it's going to be the end of wave 4, and then comes the last move down, which will go to 27 cents. Right. So for me, it's just another day at the office. It's just trying to prove that that this obviously this thing works, right? It's not just like you can guess every single wave that I've done and just get lucky on each one of them, because that's like a magician, right? I'm not a magician. I simply created RES wave for a reason, and that's why we're here. Okay, so basically right now, I do believe that we are in wave 5 and that wave E has completed, because it's retested the triangle just as I thought it would, and it's basically rejected it. So now, and I'm just going to mention this again, like yesterday, today I'm doing the live stream on YouTube first, and then the update on TradingView will come later on. Okay, so right now in Melbourne, it's 11 a.m. We're still in lockdown until I think tomorrow, or who knows? They change these things every couple of days, so we don't really know what's the deal there. So for me, at this point, this is it. It's do or die. Okay, we need to break the. Okay, so first of all, the target for the end of wave D was hit perfectly overnight. It literally touched the line, and then that was the end of wave C in brackets. It was over. Wave D ended, and then we jumped straight up. Okay, so it's it's confirmation. This is what we're looking for, right? So let's go to the 15-minute chart for a sec, and this is how long wave 4 was. It literally started 19th of May and ended on the 9th of June. Okay, so that's quite considerable, considering that wave 2 was like this tiny, puny little wave up here that was quite small. So that's alternation, and that's a massive example of it as well, right? But when you go to, like, say, for example, a 4-hour chart, just remove the drawings for a second, right? It doesn't look like a big deal, right? And if you go to like a daily chart, it's even less of a big deal. Like it's just some little move that had a little bit of a larger wave 4, but in hindsight, it'll mean nothing. And that's basically what I'm trying to say, is that just because it looks big on the small time frame, on the bigger time frame, it's just another wave. So yeah, if anybody wants to ask any questions relating to this, go ahead. But let me just tell you one thing. In order for us to confirm that wave 4 did end, we need to see a break of the low, right? So I'm going to get rid of this line right here, right now, right? And I'm just going to put a magenta line, all right? Because that's always the confirmation of the end of a correction, okay? So once we see the break of the magenta line, okay, this is like the area where you should start thinking about buying at 27 cents at the new low. Okay, and then once you've done that, that's it. Your job is done. All the hard work is paid off, and you can just wait until the bounce happens, right? I don't really want to go into the XLM BTC chart because I do that quite often. You can just watch the last live stream or even the last trading view idea. It's basically the same thing. The XLM BTC chart in particular gives me the clue that yeah, XLM will be getting stronger versus Bitcoin. So hi Ryan, welcome. First time, very good. Thank you for the compliments. Hi, Adorable. How you doing? Love your little gotcha character there. Michael Ian waiting for 15 cents. Fair enough. Each to their own. Exit here. Hey man. Yes, sounds good. Yeah, so we'll sell him better once I hear my alert, which is time to buy. So okay, so two things. One, and I'm going to make this very clear from the start so you don't get it wrong, right? So number one, we have to break that low to confirm that wave 5 is in progress. Okay, wave 5 must make a new low, so it must do this. That's going to be similar length from where it is right now. That's going to be similar length to wave 1. Can you see that? Right, when wave 3 is the longest, waves 1 and 5 tend to be similar in length. So that's one piece of evidence. Okay, the next piece of evidence to confirm that this is actually going to go up, not continue lower, is to break above the start of wave 5, which will be up here, right? Let me put in a different line. This time we'll put in a blue line or something, right? Like that. So once we make a new low, obviously you buy. If you are if you're worried that maybe this is all wrong and you're unsure because you don't know RES wave and you're new to this whole thing, scale in slowly. Okay, so maybe 25% at the lows, 25% after we break the blue line, 25% after we break the next high, whatever it is you want to do, that's up to you. Use your own judgment. But those are the two most important things that I believe will confirm the reversal is in place, right? So it just depends on your level of experience as to how you're going to enter this. Just because I say buy at 27 cents, you may not have the psychology required to do that with confidence and peace of mind without being stressed out, because who wants to be stressed out whilst trading, right? That's the whole reason why I created RES Wave, is because I hate stressing, right? So why stress? Learn the waves. My program is half price until the end of June. And so far, so good. I have one member in particular who is very keen on learning this stuff. We had a Zoom meeting last night. His name's Matthew. And basically, I can see how complex it appears at first, which adds further credence to me that it's very hard for you to figure out what I'm doing just by my ideas. unless you really, really think about it and you have like good critical thinking and just all this other stuff. But once, like, even he has trouble using the pattern because of the different degrees of trend that we're dealing with here, right? We're looking at a like for example, this is a small wave C here, right? That's a small wave C here, okay? Right, and that was within a wave 2. This is another wave C here, which was in a wave 4, okay? And then, oops, sorry, one sec. Right, and then when you go to a larger time frame, right, this is a wave C within a wave B in brackets. So there's so many degrees of understanding the complexities, but my program does its very best, and plus you have my full support. I love talking about waves. I don't shut up. So whenever somebody says I want to talk waves, I identify where their weaknesses are. My background is in IT, so I know how to simplify things for people using the right material and that sort of stuff. Yes, Felix, that's correct. Let me go back to, and welcome, by the way, another loyal follower there. So yeah, wave E ended, right? We saw wave D end basically the same length as wave A. So back here we had wave A. So we knew that was a B, that was a C. That was a C, right? So this length of wave A is basically the same length as wave C. Like I measured it. It's literally like perfect. So now we're seeing wave E, and that's what that bounce was. So this is, as I told you in the previous videos, this is where people say, oh, this is going up now. And then they buy in, and then the market starts to go down and make a new low. And that's where people get absolutely wrecked, right? This has happened to people many times. Happened to me too as well when I was learning. But it's just because you don't know what the waves are doing. Once you know what the waves are doing, it just becomes second nature, like unconscious competence, right? Well, hitting, yeah. Yeah. So hitting the magenta line down here at around 30 cents is confirmation that we are now in wave 5, which has to make a new low back down below the previous low here of the wave B. And this is the area where I want to buy, right? So that's how complex I look into this using RS wave. It's just demonstration. And as you know, I've been covering every single wave as we've gone along. So for somebody to try and guess this and be lucky at doing this sort of thing, I mean, you can only be lucky so much, right? But once you start to see how complex and how accurate these moves are, then you can't mistake it, right? So to me, it's just a walk in the park. Yeah, fractals are beautiful. And the thing is that I was having this conversation with one of my members yesterday, is that the way that I explain it, because I had to draw the pattern. Like when I designed Arius Wave, like I came up with so many iterations of it. I spent a lot of time just drawing it on paper, right? What did I see? What was I seeing? And I went through iteration and iteration of what I was seeing, because there's different degrees and you have to understand the different degrees of each pattern versus the larger degree, and what that pattern was and how it fit into the picture and alternation. And so I basically corroborated all this information into my mind over a period of time and created this thing. It's crazy stuff. It's like a magician's work or something. Longing at 27. Yeah, look, like I said, you can scale into this thing. You don't have to go super crazy at 27 cents. You can start slow by 27, a little bit after we go back up, a little bit after we go back up here, up here. This will be the confirmation that wave 5 ended and there's no more lower prices. So, I mean, you could wait for a break of the next high. Look, it's up to you how you do it. Arius Wave has its own methods of doing it, but obviously that's in the program. But at the end of the day, I'm giving you the insights. I'm giving you the clues. Yeah, so obviously you saw wave E bounce. So why would if wave E was meant to keep going up, then why did it create a 5-wave move down already? Right? You really got to ask yourself that question. What is this thing doing right now? Right? Well, number one, it got rejected out of the triangle in 5 waves. Okay. So if you think that that's just going to go straight back up, then you don't know the waves. I expect to see a little bit of maybe a very small correction here before we see a large smackdown through this magenta line and then basically head towards that 27 cents. So basically what I envision, what I can see, like picture in my mind is like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's what I see happening here. This is what I can imagine is what it's going to look like, right? Obviously, we're going to find out if that was true or not in the next update. But as you know, I've been tracking this for a while now. But to me, I'm more excited about what comes after this C wave ends rather than the end of this C wave, because this is just going to be where you buy. What about when you start making profits and start to see the rest of the patterns unfold? Because as we know, fractal patterns are beautiful and we love to see them. Oh, I reckon the end of wave C is going to happen. It might even happen today. Remember, this is an impulsive move, right? Impulsive moves happen quickly, especially at lows, because, you know, like for example, when you zoom out of a chart and you see like a hammer candle, right? What that hammer candle is, right, is because there's a lot of strength in the market, right? So if you understand what candle patterns are, right, you'll see the last move usually be sharp. It'll be followed by something that basically is just as sharp in the opposite direction, right? And then it'll close potentially a little bit lower, like something like that, right? Depending, right? Depending on the strength of the next move that's coming, right? And if you go to a daily chart, that you'll see like some kind of either a doji or a hammer pattern, right? So that's where you get that price rejection. That's why the longer the wick down is the more it's a sign of a bottom. It's a rejection, right? Yeah, so for me, luckily here it's 11:20 a.m. So I reckon I might get to see some of this and post a bit later on the Trading View as well. But I'm giving you all I can now because I won't be doing another live stream until tomorrow. I just do one YouTube live stream a day and one Trading View post per day, just whilst we're getting through the wave C. After that, I don't know, I might increase. Yeah, I'm not too worried about that. Let's take it one step at a time. Yeah, so basically to answer your question, impulsive moves, they move fast. Like for example, the move that we saw yesterday, right? That was an impulsive move. Wave 3. That was a wave 3 right there. Okay. So that happened in a very small amount of time. So if you take the ruler there, that took 14 hours for that whole move to happen. Okay. So that was part of a corrective move as well. So this is actually part of an impulsive move, which could go even faster. So we just don't know. We're just going to have to just play it by ear and see how we go. So basically it. All right. So hopefully you guys are happy with the content here provided in the last few minutes. We are getting pretty close to the end of this. Right. Yeah, please leave a comment, subscribe. Yeah, let me know if there's anything else you need to know about this move. But I think I've covered everything. I feel like I've covered everything. Good one. Yeah. The top was wave E. Yeah, it was. Yeah. So, I mean, when you see something go up in 5 waves and then 5 waves back down, it's pretty obvious that yeah, there's something weird going on, right? The price action is volatile. It's not just oh, we're going to make a 5 wave move up followed by a little, choppy little correction, and then we're going to keep going. No, you start to see like up, straight back down. Many of these questions I used to always ask myself, what kind of pattern creates a 5 wave move followed by a 5 wave move followed by a 5 wave move? And like all these pieces of the puzzle, just the questions that you start to ask yourself once you start to learn this stuff, it's just like you start to realize it can only be possible in certain situations. So you play the process of elimination. It's like the pieces of the puzzle, right? You've completed the whole puzzle, but there's one piece missing. Okay, that means that it must be that, right? And you can work backwards. So it's yeah, there's many ways, and I know everyone's different, but I basically try to tailor my help and gear it towards the sort of questions that you're asking, because I know different people ask different questions. So I have to try and understand. My background is in IT, so I have to try and understand your level of knowledge and then sort of simplify it for you until you sort of start to understand using the material, and then yeah, you start to realize certain things. Yeah. Well, yeah, if you want to margin trade this, right, you'd have to have quite a bit of capital, right? Because I wouldn't see any real confirmation until after we hit the low, and then after we break above this blue dotted line here, that's the confirmation of the reversal. So if your stop loss is from like there to here, well, it depends how much you risk. If you're not risking too much, is all right, but that would be the confirmation for a margin trader. So no, I don't see it going much lower than 27 cents. And I explained why using the XLM against BTC chart. Yeah, XLM has seen the weakest point that it'll get compared to the BTC chart. So I don't see it going much lower. Well, that's right. Yeah, wave D comes after red wave C exit here. So after we see this completed wave C, we start to see wave D, and I believe that's going to be when we start to see the break of the all-time high. And then it depends where wave E ends. That'll give us the indication as to where we can expect this whole move to terminate in terms of profit taking. I think it's going to go crazy. I think the end of moves go crazy. Like if you measure the wave A in 2017, it was like thousands of percent, thousands, like over 10,000%. I reckon we're going to see that again, except this time you have Arius wave to tell you when to get out in case you didn't know when to get out last time. Yeah, so futures or margin longing, to me, I don't like either of them at this point. I just buy the physical coin. Yeah, because with the profits that you create in the future, then you can do whatever you want. You'll be able to risk a small percentage to margin trade or futures trade. It doesn't really make a difference, right? Because you'll have the capital, which will help your psychology, right? Your psychology is completely different if you're risking 1% of your capital versus you're basically going all in. So let's try and build the capital first before we go crazy with that sort of stuff, because that's more advanced, and you need to be more knowledgeable on the waves first before you start touching that stuff. Well, thanks for that, Felix. Yeah, yeah, indicators is just what everybody else is looking at. So yeah, when you have something unique, you have an edge, and when you have an edge, trust me, that's what I'm trying to show you. Like, I'm trying to prove it through the videos instead of just saying, "Oh, this program does this and it's amazing," and you're going to say, "Yeah, whatever." You just sound like a scammer, right? But if you start to see it yourself, that's my business model. My business model is the proof is in the pudding, right? You can see it. I'm telling you to do it. I'm telling you this is going to happen. And then it happens, right? Wait until you see what happens when we get to the top, right? And then that's we're in a whole new dimension by then. So one step at a time. It's good to learn. It's good to grow your knowledge. Hola, Carlos, caballero, ¿cómo estás? Good to see you. So exit here is trying to get more clues out of me here. After E of red, C and D. And wave 5 comes wave 1. Yeah. I think you need to learn it. It's too hard to explain that sort of stuff in the comment section. Yeah. Anything is possible, guys, right? You just need the right mentor, right? You always, like, for me, I never had a mentor because I could never find anyone who actually spoke in a way that made sense and could produce consistent videos that really indicated that they knew what they were talking about and answered questions along the way. So, hey, how you doing, APX Predator? Good to see you. So yeah, basically, I because I'm from an IT background, I use my people skills to try and help them learn something that I developed using, whatever skill I had that helped me along the way. Basically, a lot of curiosity and wasting a lot of money on Elliott Wave and trying you know, reading the book, the Encyclopedia of Indicators, which was like this thick book. And I'm like, this doesn't work. This does not work. This is all subjective crap. There's just trying to use mathematics to figure out, you know, probabilities of something that is not actually based on that at all. So yeah, it's ridiculous. Anyway, guys, I got stuff to do. It's been great talking to you. Let's see what happens. Let's see if we make that 27 cents. I will catch you on the TradingView update later on, maybe in another 5 hours or something. I've got to get a few things done. So good talking to you. Hopefully you've enjoyed this. And so far, we're on course to 27 cents. So wherever you are, good afternoon, good evening, and good night.